You gotta be kidding me. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Nick from Australia YouTube channel for your Friday night, December 6, 2024. I hope everybody is doing well. I wish I could be here under more positive circumstances, as we have all seen the news that was broken today. Cowboys hooker / New South Wales hooker Reece Robson has signed a 4-year deal with the Sydney Roosters starting in 2026. So he'll obviously have 2025 at the Cowboys, and then Robson will head to the Sydney Roosters. Now, as you guys may know, or if you don't know, I am a massive Cowboys supporter. I travel all over the country to support this team. And when news like this breaks, it's quite frustrating and it's hard to react, because when you're like me, you're on the road all the time, you're supporting the team, you're supporting the players, you want to watch your team win games. And then a bloke who I regard Reece Robson as one of the most influential players at the Cowboys. Now that he has signed with the Roosters a year out, it frustrates me, man. It frustrates the hell out of me. It's just a tough business, man. It's tough business. But first, guys, hope everyone's doing well. I haven't done a YouTube live stream in like 2 weeks. It feels like a lot longer than that, though, to be honest. It is December. It is the off season, so there isn't going to be a lot of YouTube videos to do as we are in the off season, and it is not the best time of year for rugby league content. It's pretty quiet. So if you are new around here, welcome to the channel. I hope you can subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. If you're a regular viewer and you're watching, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. I also just want to acknowledge the live chat quickly before I give you my opinion on everything that unfolded today and that has been unfolding the last few weeks or so. Hello to Jack, Michael, Jason, Jeffrey, Wings and Lee, SS Storm fan, Michael Driver, Luke Melbourne Storm fan, CJ Moxley. Your Mando. Oh, that's who it is. I was trying to work out. That's a new name. But I appreciate you all for tuning in, man. I know I didn't really advertise this live stream. I sort of just put out on Instagram about 20 minutes ago. Anyway, when something like this happens, I'm always going to do a video. If there's a Cowboys player that signs or goes elsewhere, especially someone at the level of Reece Robson, then there's always going to be a YouTube video about that. But let's get into it, man. So I'm just trying to work out the best way to do this, because I don't want to lose my shit, man, because I've been going on a rant all afternoon about it. I'm still trying to process it. Now, let me just start by saying this. I support Reece Robson. I'm a Reece Robson fan. I do feel like that as a fan of the Cowboys, and some of the things that Reece Robson has said about re-signing since you go all the way back to May, I feel like I've been kicked in the guts, and I think a lot of Cowboys fans feel the same way. A lot of them are pretty upset and filthy about it, and do not blame them. We're all in the same boat. I feel like I've been kicked in the stomach with this whole Reece Robson thing. So I want to go back to a quote, guys. Now, you guys may not be aware of this, but back in May, it was – so at the time, right, the Cowboys, the form wasn't the greatest. It was the week before we played the Titans at the Gold Coast, and then Magic Round was the week after. Reece Robson declared he never. So let me rephrase that. This was on May 10, 2024, so a few months back. Reece Robson declared he never wants to leave North Queensland except maybe to pull on a Blues jersey. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. Origin, fair enough. Robson says this as well. I'd love to extend my time here. I love it up here in North Queensland and never want to leave the place. 6 months later, 7 months later, whatever it is, Robson signs a 4-year deal and heads to the Roosters. So, the part where he says he wants to extend his time up here, he loves it in North Queensland, never wants to leave the place. And now he goes and signs a 4-year deal with the Roosters. It feels like a big kick in the guts, man. It really does. Now, I know people can change their mind and people can, change their opinion, I guess, change their mind, what they want to do. But come on, man. You can't say something like that to Cowboys fans, members, supporters all over the country and expect a lot of the Cowboys fans to be okay with it. You can't. You just can't. I'm filthy about it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say everything on here because I don't want to ruffle a few feathers that don't need to be ruffled, but it's just so disappointing because Reece Robson, we all know how good of a player he is. He's probably the second, if not the best, number 9 in the game, probably second or third anyway, behind Harry Grant. Robson is an elite hooker. And to win NRL games, to win big games, you need a big game number 9. We've seen it. And Robson is that. So him leaving, it's a massive hole to fill, man. It's a massive hole to fill. Now, the part about it that I am really angry about, and I will get to this right now, actually, because I took a shot on Instagram earlier, and I'm not going to remove the story. I've had Roosters fans message me saying, "Oh, that's very harsh to attack our club like that." Blah blah blah. Here's my problem with the Roosters. The Sydney Roosters are one of the big clubs in Sydney. So, yes, I understand it makes sense for the Roosters to buy the New South Wales hooker. And because the Roosters are such a big club in Sydney, because of their branding and everything, they're a big club. It does make sense for Reece Robson to join the Roosters. New South Wales hooker joins probably one of the second or third biggest clubs in Sydney. It makes a lot of sense. But here's the problem. When are the Roosters going to leave all the NRL clubs alone and develop their own talent and build within? You look at Penrith, right? You look at Penrith. Penrith don't usually buy anyone. They build within. We have seen how successful they have been. They won 4 comps in a row with their junior system. Penrith are one of the most dominant NRL clubs, not by buying every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They built within, and look how good they are. Everybody is sick of them because they're so friggin' good. Now, you look at the Roosters, I have a question. And Roosters fans, I know they're probably going to be in the comment section and they're going to be saying, "Oh, it's a salty Cowboys fan." I have a right to be upset that we're losing our hooker. You would be upset if the roles were reversed. Now, when's the last time the Roosters were building within their own club? Like, name me 10 Roosters juniors I got right now. Hell, how many do they even have to start with? You look at the Roosters top 30. How many of them started at the Roosters? How many of them come from the Roosters system? How many of them come from that area? How many of them are bought up from the Roosters? I'll answer that for you. I reckon less than 5. They wouldn't even have 5 juniors of their own. maybe false what they got. I don't know the exact number, to be honest with you, but they wouldn't even have more than 5 local juniors in their team. If they do, I'd be very surprised, but they sure as hell don't use them, because you look at their team, like you got Tedesco, he come from the Tigers, Dom Young come from the Knights, Palga, I got no idea where he come from. I think he's New Zealand, maybe. I don't even know, man. Sam Walker came from Brisbane. Chad Townsend came from Cronulla, I think. Yeah, I think Cronulla. Who else is there? You got Lenu, Penrith. Cheese was Cowboys, but he's going to be... Cheese will be gone now. Cheese will leave. I think Victor Radley... Who else? Like, gee whiz, there isn't many. Blake Steep, the guy that debuted last year. I don't know, man. They wouldn't have many. They wouldn't have many at all. Now, I know Roosters fans are going to say, oh, well, why didn't the Cowboys offer him more money? It's called a salary cap, something that the Roosters fans don't know much about because, well, we all know their brown paper bag bullshit. We know there's some Barrow, their whole bullshit that they do. Nick Politis, he's been corrupt for years, that bloke. We all know it. I reckon they should investigate the 2018, 2019 Premiership roster, but we won't get into that now. We'll save that for another time. But the Cowboys, they tabled an offer for Reece Robson. Obviously, the Roosters offered a lot more money because they have more money at the moment. And Robson obviously elected to take that deal, and he's going to be heading down to the Roosters. But like I said before, as a Cowboys fan, it's a massive kick in the guts, and it's a huge loss. I'm not sure how we replace Reece Robson. I don't know. Obviously, 2025, look, as a Cowboys fan, 2025, I think is going to be really exciting. I think we've got a lot of good talent to bring up and whatnot, and I think it's going to be a good, exciting season. But 2026, I don't know what we're going to do with a hooker. We're going to probably going to have to go and buy someone. I heard someone, I've read a lot of comments online, people talking about, oh, what about Blake Moser from the Broncos? I don't know. I generally don't know. Maybe it's a possibility. But who really knows, man? The cheese is now available. I don't know if we want the cheese back. I heard what he said. We heard what the cheese said on his podcast. Oh, he doesn't want to go to Townsville. It's too hot. Well, to be fair, I don't think we want the cheese, if I'm being honest. I don't think we want him anyway. Now, the other thing I want to say as well is it's just so disappointing. So disappointing. Like, with all due respect to Reece Robson, and I'm not having a go at him here, this is just my 10 cents. When Reece Robson was at the Dragons, he was just another one of those hookers coming through the system, looking to try and make a name for himself. But Reece Robson was an absolute nobody until he joined the Cowboys. The Cowboys made Reece Robson the player he is today. We made him an origin hooker. We made him a top 3 hooker in the NRL. But instead of showing some loyalty, he has decided to head down to the Roosters. And look, there's not much more I can say. There isn't much more I can say. I'm sort of just going off script here. I haven't written anything down. I'm speaking off the cuff here, but what do you want me to say? I'm upset. I'm disappointed. And it's going to be really awkward next season. Like, a lot of us Cowboys fans are going to be traveling to away games, and we're going to be at home games. And how are we meant to react when Robson scores a try or he does something good in the game? Like, are we all just going to forget that he's not going to head to the Roosters? And it's going to be really weird, man, seeing him play with us next year now, and he's going to beat the Roosters in 2026. And like, I get you got to focus on 2025, the here and now, and worry about the future later. But it's like, he's leaving. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the Roosters. I think they should be ashamed of themselves. Like, I understand they got money and they need to spend it and they need to go buy players, but why can't they just develop their own kids and bring their own players through instead of going out and buying every Tom, Dick, and Harry? And it's disgraceful. It's fucking disgraceful, to be honest with you. And um, I've got, to be honest with you, I've got no respect for the Roosters. I've lost a lot of respect for the Roosters from this. I'm probably more angry at the Roosters than I am Reece Robson. I will be fine with Reece Robson. Obviously, I'm gonna calm down and I'm gonna obviously let it all play out, and it's happening. So all you can do is just look forward and get on with it now and look for the next best thing, I guess. But as a fan who's a member of the Cowboys, I'm at so many games. I'm supporting the team. I feel like I'm allowed to have my 10 cents. I'm allowed to give my opinion. And this is a frustrating situation. And I guess the last thing that I want to say, and again, I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not here to take shots at anybody. I'm not attacking the club. I'm just giving my 10 cents on this whole thing as a fan on the outside looking in. When you look at the list of who the Cowboys have lost in the player market who were with us in the last 2 seasons, the names, the list of players that we have lost because of salary cap and management, I think it's time for a emergency review, and it needs to be looked at, man, because I'll give you a few names. Reece Robson, Valentine Holmes, Tom Gilbert, Finny Fuiaki. List goes on. Kyle Felt's gone. Jake Granville's gone. It's not a good list. It's not a good list. You want to go back further? Viliami Kickow, Brendan Smith. There's so many of them. There's so many of them, guys. The Hammer. Yeah, the Hammer is another one. So I'm not attacking the management here, but all I'm saying is you put together a list of who we've lost over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and it's not good. I understand you can't keep everyone, and I know you need to identify the correct players, and you keep the ones that you're meant to keep. But the decision a couple of years ago to re-sign Hiku on a 1-year deal and let go of the Hammer, big call, man. Hiku had one great season with us in 2022, and then he had a backwards year in 2023. The Hammer was gone to the Dolphins and killing it. It was a tough decision. That was a bad decision, man. And now you look at this. We lose Val Holmes, who didn't want to leave. We lose Kyle Felt, who was going to England. Tom Gilbert looked like he was going to be a long-term player for us. Obviously hasn't been great at the Dolphins due to injury, but we know how good of a player he can be. Potential Origin player in the future. So I just have a few questions for the management, and they need to really review what's happened over the last 2 or 3 years, because a lot of these guys, like the Hammer, Tom Gilbert, Val Holmes, they should never, ever have been moved on. They should have always been kept at the club. You got to keep the young over the old, man. And look, man, I'm going to get on out of here because I'm going to say something that I shouldn't, but I'm just frustrated by the whole thing, guys. I really am. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you. We had a pretty good crowd here watching this, so it's been a lot of fun. Look, obviously it is the off-season and there isn't a whole lot to do at the moment with NRL content, but I might do a Q&A next week or something, maybe on Monday or even over the weekend. I'll let you guys know. I might do like a Q&A so you guys can watch some content and whatnot. And yeah, we'll have to organize some stuff for the off season. It's a very long off season anyway. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic Friday night, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.